So how would I explain quantum computing versus regular computing to like a board or investors or
So let me start by saying how you probably wouldn't explain it. And that is the way many of us have been explaining it for a long time. And it's as if I'm holding up my smartphone, right? And in this case, it's an iPhone. And your question would be like, how would I explain how to use the smartphone to an everyday person? The way many of us in the past have thought about explaining quantum computing is saying, not, oh, well, here's the screen and these apps and they do nice. It's like, well, really, to understand your phone, we have to understand the physics of transistors. And once you're fully comfortable with the physics of transistors, and we work completely up through the entire software stack, then I'll show you how to use an app, right? So with quantum computing, we spend a lot of time on the physics, what corresponds to the transistors. And because people are so enamored of certain phrases like superposition and entanglement, and wow, they sound amazing, right?
they do sound pretty good. I'm sold.
Uh,
I'm buying it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like the nomenclature will sell you for some reason. What it boils down to is this, is that no matter how powerful your existing computers are, there are some problems that will remain completely intractable. And it's just the nature of the beast. When we say a computer, we don't only mean those sorts of computers, the binary computers that we can build today. So what about these really hard problems? Are we hosed? Do we just never be able to do it? And say, well, no, there's actually this glimmer of hope. And the idea is that if we have a completely different kind of computer, which is based on different principles, really from the very bottom all the way up, maybe this different type of computing is more amenable to solving these hard problems. In fact, that's exactly what quantum computing does. So now to the board, I would then say, and now let me tell you a few of the sorts of places where we think quantum computing might be really useful, right? So you ground it in saying what's different about it, but from the perspective of computability, and then you talk a little bit about the use cases, and depending on who the board may be, and I do speak to boards, and you have to change the message, you then try to adapt it for their industry.